Alright YouTube, how's it going? It's Nick John Wick here with another beginner's guide for This Is a Ghost. This is the second. The reason why I'm doing this is Nucci Games has updated This Is a Ghost quite considerably in the last couple of weeks. So I would say that my last beginner's guide wouldn't be as up to date, and I don't like doing that. So this guide is perfect if you've just picked up the game or if you have not played the game in a few weeks, because there has been huge changes in the form of new entities, new maps, batteries for the night vision, brightness changes, texture changes. There has been new photos to unlock. So there has been such big changes that we had to jump on, we had to come over to YouTube and do a little beginner's guide to try and help you out. It is a steep learning curve. This Is a Ghost came out in December 2022, and it's a cross between Phasmophobia and Call of Duty. It's like Phasmophobia and Call of Duty had babies, and those babies came over and made a game that was possessed. The game is awesome. It's the real American way to kill a ghost. Perish a ghost. It's true. The difference between This Is a Ghost and Phasmophobia: the ghost tends not to wander as much. If you play this game like you're trying to play Phasmophobia, it will not go well for you, so don't do it, okay? I'm going to go on to this guide and we're going to go through a really good way of going through the map, finding the ghost, eliminating the ghost, and being on our merry way. So we are going to go into it. If you do like this game, make sure to hit me up. I'm always happy to play with new people. And This Is a Ghost multiplayer games are shared, so you share ammo, you share health, all of that fun stuff. To make it feel a little bit more risky, it's terrifying in multiplayer. And then there's a lot of responsibility. I'm just saying. If that's something you want to do, hit me up, send me a message. All my details can be found somewhere on that screen. Good luck, Godspeed, and let's get into it. Alright, so as you can see, we're about to load up a contract. I'm just going to go through the menu just a little bit, but we will go into more detail as we play the game. So right at the top, you've got your maps. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to see which maps you unlock, you might want to look away. So we've got Little House being the smallest. And up at the top, it also tells you how many floors, overall difficulty of the map, how many players recommends, and the amount of entities available to the party. If you're playing with someone that doesn't have them unlocked, if they are the party leader, you will not have them unlocked. So that's just something to have a look at. We also have Finch Farm, the Old Haunting, Lilith's Mansion, which is the biggest. That's what she said. Sorry. Birdhouse, the Fergus Case, and Ravenswood Campsite, which is the newest map to unlock. And of course, we need certain reputation, a certain amount of money, or hunter medals in order to unlock these things. And we do so via the merchant. So as you can see, each of the societies have different things to unlock. And I would suggest keeping those as close as possible. You could always pick, what you want to unlock most first. There's a lot of new entities in the Vanguard of Gavowden. I have been asked quite a lot, should I unlock the entities or should I leave them? When you start the game, you start with just a small group of entities. And I was also asked, does it make it easier? And it does, and it doesn't. Okay, so in a sense, yes, with the less ghosts, you don't really need to worry so much. In another sense, you're not getting to know the ghosts, so by the time you do unlock them, I feel like it would be more difficult. Also, if you do unlock all 17 ghosts, you have a 1.7 times multiplier, and that's a huge difference when you're doing contracts. It's a difference of £200 to 700 in one game. So I would keep that in mind as well. If you want to grind with XP and go up the levels and unlock things, I do really suggest, and I mean that I can't stress it enough, unlocking the entities first. Alright, so that's the merchant. The journal we'll look at really quickly because I don't really want to do that when I'm being chased by a ghost. What you want to pay attention to is your mission page. You're going to find the entity's name, when he died, you're going to find his favourite room, why he died. Then it's going to list all the quests to do, and this is where you earn those hunter medals. It will show you, it'll be really clear. It will show you what quests you can get a hunter medal from. If you're on multiplayer, some quests are shared. So that's also something to keep in mind, that only one person needs to do certain quests and everyone in the team gets the reward for that. While we're playing this as a ghost, we also have to be really mindful of what behaviour the ghost is showing. Now, I'm going to do a quick video on how to effectively identify ghost behaviour every single game, just by looking for a couple of things, but you can read about ghost behaviour in the journal, read about that at your leisure. It's absolutely fine. If you are struggling with ghost behaviour, just keep an eye, we will be posting that video pretty soon. We've got lost, vengeful or residual. As you can see, they're colour coded. Vengeful is the scary one, okay? Very easy to identify. The rest of it we will go into, so don't worry about that. Just like Phasmophobia, we've got any evidence that the ghost will give us, and it will take away the ghosts that don't have that evidence. It will leave you with the ghost of the run. So say we've got a residual shapeshifter, we found the behaviour, we found the ghost, absolutely fine. We're going to head straight over to entities, use the drop down menu, find the shapeshifter. It's going to tell us what to craft, which is obsidian. It's going to tell us when it hunts, which is at 65 to 100% of global activity. We're going to tell you what's effective, so pistol, nah. Burning flash, oh yeah. Incense is worth it. And a really good thing about the journal is you can write notes. Now, I kind of have a spreadsheet going on right at the moment because this only allows 90 characters, but all the important things that I found, I write it down right away. And then when you're in the game, that will come up and you can read it, so it's really, really good. Also, spoiler alert, when you take photos, they will come up in here, just like Phasmo. There is 3-star, 2-star and 1-star photos, different money for each. But also, you can unlock photos, and this is where it shows you. So there's 53 photos to unlock. I've not unlocked them all. I know what the first one is, but I cannot find it to take a picture of it. It is very rare. Very rare. But this is where you unlock everything. And this constantly gets added to, so there's that as well. And that's about it. You've got your settings. If you want to look at your commands, they're right here. The only one I changed was the shield. So the shield I changed to G. I think it's K. My fingers are a little bit small. Motion blur is disabled by default, just so you know. You can set everything in here. And it is controller compatible, so that is awesome for you guys that are playing with controller. That being said, we're going to go straight ahead, we're going to jump into a game and we're going to go through everything. I will be adding little bits of footage of other games just to show you some types of evidence or what happens when I'm talking about something. So if you do see that, that's just what that is. So I don't want you to get confused or anything. But we're just going to go ahead, remember and click training if you have to. But we're going to go ahead and start contract. Let's go. Alright, so we have spawned into Little House, as you can see. The first thing I'm going to do is turn on that activity transmitter right behind you. Very, very sneaky. Just saying, turn it on with your right click. Now, I will be explaining this from the point of view from keyboard, as that's what I'm on, so your controller may be a little bit different. But the activity transmitter is going to turn on your global activity monitor, which is down on the bottom left of your screen. That is going to keep track of everything that's happening around about you. It's going to tell you when the ghost is going to hunt, when things are getting a little bit scary. The ghost doesn't like running, so I would run only up until activity 30-ish. Alright, it's already doing something. I get you, I'm trying to talk. So, as we can see, it's probably in the house. The little blue dot on the EMF shows you it's new. Yellow is recent and white is old. There we go. We're going to increase the radius of the EMF by wheeling up on our mouse button. And then we're going to use key 1 to bring out our night vision. Now the night vision does have a battery added to it in the update. And also you can unlock the brightness. through your reputation and your societies, just buying it through the merchant. That way. I'm assuming this entity is inside because he's given me stuff on my EMF reader inside, so we're just going to go straight ahead in. I can hear water running. Okay. Now, if that EMF reader had went off, I would have took a picture of that, but it didn't, so that means it happened a while ago. And what we're doing right now is we're using the night vision in order to locate orbs and cursed objects. Now, cursed objects and orbs are really easy to find. Tell a lie. Cursed objects are really easy to find. Orbs can be difficult. Are you in the kitchen? What's going on here? Now, this has just been added. I don't know if you guys can see the tiny white dots floating about. That is not orbs. Just so you guys know. But this is the favourite room. And we know that because the haze is given off. This gas-like substance. So we know the dining room is the favourite room. Okay, ghost. We're going to set up in here. 7 for our motion sensor. 6 for our dot/LSS. And 9 for our footprints. And that's going to help give you some evidence. Now, as we can see, he's in the kitchen. And he's doing a lot of things. We're keeping an eye on that EMF reader. Okay. Is that a 1? Yep, that's EMF 5. You can tell by the sound, but 4 and 5 are pretty similar to my ears. This is the cause of death. The cube event. Always take a picture of it. So he perished via explosion, and we're going to put that into our journal. And his favourite room is the kitchen. Just going to do one more check for cursed objects and orbs, just in case we haven't found them. And the cursed objects always have the same spawn location. So if they're not there. This ghost really likes lights and water. It tells me quite a lot about what type of ghost this is. And what worries me is that you can see on the top of my screen it's 34%. That's global activity. Alright, we don't have cursed objects. I'm going to say a no for that. Let's have a wee check around here. No, no cursed object. Okay. Cursed objects and orbs are 2 things that you can eliminate or add pretty quickly. So that's the first thing that I would look for. We're going to keep our UV light on. T for the flashlight and then T again to bring UV up, and that will show you footprints and fingerprints. When you find the blood stain, you right click to register. Hit key P and then take a photo of that. Sensor 2 and then 1 has been triggered, okay. And there's your year right here. So that's good. We're going to set up outside as well as his favourite room, always. And he's turned the activity transmitter off. Get a good photo for this if you manage to get it in time. Oh, okay. So he's turned that off and he's given a 5 reading. It's very scary. If you're nervous, okay, take a deep breath and hit out your shield. If you hear something coming, if you're just a bit worried, if you're crafting something, the shield is very useful. Just be careful if you put a rune down in front of your shield and then pop your shield up. If you move forward, there's a chance that you can break the rune. Okay, so that's something to look out for, especially on the medium and hard difficulties. So what we're doing right now, the activity is at 50. I'm going to put an incense down right away. And we're going to go straight to the ghost room because we know that he's going to be there. I'm going to put it here. You can only put 1 incense down at a time. And as the ghost comes by or the entity comes by, you've written a name. You've written a lot. That global activity will start to drop. As you can see, he's nearby, it's dropping. Something I would suggest is get this book, it's in every map, and place it near the ghost room. And that's a good, check to see if you've got all the information. If you haven't, then it might be written in the book. Also, it's easy to get a picture of. So the entity's name is Camille. Okay. I'm going to turn these lights on. I want to try and determine, he's blowing that light as well. This ghost does not like lights or water. Sensor 1 triggered. Are you giving me fingerprints? Fingerprints there. Oh, we got fingerprints. Thank you. So we can write fingerprints here. It doesn't really help as much, but it is at least a piece of evidence. Now, the gun situation in this game is freaking awesome. 3 types of guns, okay? You got your pistol at 3. Now that's really... Sorry. It's really good to shoot the ghost with. Okay, you got your shotgun at 4. And you got your burning flash at 5. Now, your burning flash takes a second to charge, which is important to know. If you're in your journal and you hit, maybe you put an evidence or something in, and you hit escape, your burning flash goes away. You need to recharge it. The ghost could be coming at you. Don't do that. If you're in your journal, always hit J. Everything stays. Okay? Perfect. So, we got fingerprints. That's perfect. He did write something. I want to find out. I want to find out if that's a drawing. I don't think it is. But we'll just have a little check anyway. Global activity, we keep an eye on at all times. It could just spike up. Especially if it's a Yuri. It will spike 10, it will go really, it'll just climb really quickly. Now, I don't think it is a drawing. I'm trying to do a ghost guide. Now, that was a lost behaviour. I'm sorry, I got a fright. Fuck off! I'm trying to do a guide. I'm trying to help people. That was a lost ghost when it was the red screen. It grabbed me, I couldn't move, it gave me a fright. It's always a lost ghost when it does that. If it's a residual ghost, you'll see lights flickering. You will see a silver ghost appear and just kind of walk about. If it's vengeful, you will know it's a vengeful ghost. He will hunt you very quickly. Way before the book tells you that he's going to hunt you. Now, we don't have any footprints at all. And we have fingerprints, so I'm not worried too much about keeping the door shut because we've already got that piece of evidence. We're going to have a little look at what we have. We've got Ghost, Yokai, Kappa or Ifrit. We've got the name, and we've got when they died, how they died, and the favourite room. So you can also, if you think it might be a certain ghost, you can click it. We're looking for voices in LSS. So we've got these two. We've got no orbs and no cursed objects. So Kappa or Ifrit. What are you? I'm trying to figure out who you are first. Give me a second. So as we see, we've taken off orbs and cursed objects. We didn't get them at the start. It leaves Kappa or Ifrit. And Ifrit you need drawing and LSS. And for a Kappa you need voices. We're going to go ahead, if I show you, a Kappa will hunt you faster, I think, than an Ifrit, or is it the other way around? Yeah, the Ifrit. So we're going to do Selenite first because he hunts first. So we always want to be prepared, and you want to craft up as soon as you can. We're literally just looking for one more piece of evidence. So we're going to see if he's going to give us it. Because we're under... What are you doing? Because we're under 30 on the global activity, I'm going to run a little bit. See if that'll trigger him to do something, which it does. So I would like him to give me LSS. If he was being really nice, he would give me that. But it can be one of those, LSS can be one of those evidence types that take a second to appear. And by second, I mean a second before he hunts you. Or he could be actively hunting you, so. LSS can be tricky. It can be really... In fact, I'll show you a clip here in a second of a tricky LSS. The LSS kind of likes to wait until I get my journal up and then show itself. As you can see, the LSS or the dots can be really tricky to see and out the corner of your eye. This is some footage from some of my previous games. But we can ask the ghost to show itself by pressing 8 on the keyboard or just talking. Where are you?
Where are you?
And sometimes talking to the ghost will make it really angry. And that was voices. So it is a kappa. Because if we didn't have voices, it would be an Nerfit. Okay, so it is a kappa. We're going to say it's a lost kappa because it gave us that behaviour type. But sometimes, guys, getting that bit of evidence is a case of you walking about, triggering the ghost, talking to it a little bit. As you see, we had fingerprints on the book. Really? I'll just take a photo of you then. Give me goosebumps. Sometimes getting the ghost to do anything is just a case of walking about, triggering it by talking to it or running, things like that. If you find the global activity is getting up a little bit too much for your liking, I highly suggest you put an incense down so that you can get those pieces of evidence. Why? It's a scary game. I wasn't scared, you were scared. What are you on about? Fuck off. I'm trying to talk, right? I forgot what I was saying, I'm sorry, but you want to place that evidence down, the incense down if you're looking for evidence. I think doing a beginner's guide on a ghost game while actively hunting a ghost is extremely difficult. So guys, if you really feel sorry for me, if you're liking it, if you appreciate I did this video, will you please subscribe to my YouTube? It really helps me grow. Okay, plug aside, let's go and see if we can trigger this damn ghost to come out. Now because it's a kappa, I'm going to change the ammo type to copper. And it's important you do that if you've already made ammo, keep in mind. Because there's been a couple of times where I've thought that I've crafted the ammo and then I've changed my decision on what the ghost is. And then yeah, that's kind of creepy. What are you doing? And then I've obviously, it's not been a good time. It wasn't a fun party that I wanted to attend. Now, the ghost is in the kitchen. We're going to talk about runes and where to place it. Now, a rune is decided by you clicking on the behaviour type and the ghost. It will automatically put out that rune. If you haven't done it and you try and put the rune down, it will tell you do what you're supposed to do. Anyway, we're not going to get the reach 100% paranormal activity because we've manipulated it a little bit. We've reduced it by the incense. We're not getting that, but it means we won't get a perfect contract, but we will still survive. I've got every faith in us. It's fine. Anyway, you've got to click the ghost and click the behaviour, and that will automatically set what rune you need to use. You would choose a room, like if the ghost was in the master bedroom, I wouldn't be going in there to fight it. It can come from anywhere. It's a very big room. One place people like to put it is outside in between these pillars, but sometimes the ghost can be out in the garden when you do that and start hunting from behind you, so it is a little bit risky. To be safer, you could put a rune in front of you and a rune in that door and trap it that way. But if you don't get the correct rune, whether the ghost is wrong or the behaviour's wrong, you're going to ruin 2 runes. That is so difficult to say. So be mindful of where you fight the ghost or the entity. Cause he's in the kitchen, I'm going to my good old favourite master bedroom. Now, a safe bet would be to put incense down to make sure he's not here, but he's not giving me any activity in here either. So I'm going to go ahead and place that rune without doing that. What I would say is don't place your rune too early. Runes only have a certain amount of time that they're active for. So if you place that rune far too early, it's going to disappear. And chances are that the game is going to punish you. And as soon as it disappears, you're going to get bitten by a ghost. An entity. Alright, so we're at 40. We can double check. Kappa, I think it starts hunting you pretty late. Yeah, between 80 and 100. The pistol does not much damage for it. The burning flash, which we got with it, and that's why the global activity went right down, is fantastic, so we might want to hit it with that. Incense does okay. We have crafted copper, and the notes that I wrote for this, I stood in the ghost room long and it hunted early. That was in the early days, and I would have been drinking alcohol because it's in capital letters, and I would have been scared. Anyway, he likes small rooms and bathrooms due to water. Well, yeah, because he was turning on water quite a lot, wasn't he? So, it's always good to write those notes. Let's place the rune down. Yeah. And if we have to entice the entity to come out the kappa, we're going to run about, we're going to talk to it. Let's go. Hello?
Hello. Where are you?
One thing I would say is when you're talking to the ghost or the entity, right, listen, weird things will happen. It will. So always be mindful of that you're going to press your shield as soon as you hear anything.
Catch me, if you can. Can you open the door? Show yourself.
I'm sorry, I have to do this.
Show yourself.
And obviously when you're talking to the ghost, as you can see, each of the phrases have a different colour. Green is safe-ish. Yellow is how you're getting there, honey. Red is, come on now, queen. We don't have to do this. And purple is, what are you thinking?
Don't think you scare me. Don't think you scare me.
Another thing you could do to trigger it is by running up and down. That's an ability that the ghost can use. Kind of stops you and freezes you in your track. It's very scary. As I said, weird things happen when you talk to entities. So we're going to try and bring this entity out. Run up and down. Open and close the door. Hello. Did it again. Stop it. Do you know what it feels like? The Dementor kiss. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. The Dementor's kiss. I don't like how that's on the floor. And we'll give him a little hello. Hello, hello, because my rune is disappearing.
Are you friendly? What are you doing here?
We'll go straight to red.
Your time has come.
Like I said, guys, weird things happen when you talk to entities. Keep it in mind. Also, if you really like weird things happening, get on over to my Twitch. We're live. It goes crazy. We have giveaways every month. In the game, you can play the Ouija board. That's a fun game. Basically, in this map, there's 3 candles that you light. You go back, you turn the breaker off, then you head over to the Ouija board and you say hello. Ouija board is really useful for quests such as asking the ghost what age he is. If you can't find his favourite room, it might be beneficial to go onto the Ouija board and find out. But once again, guys, when you use the Ouija board, weird shit happens. Come on, Kappa, show yourself. Are you near, are you close, are you far? Are you friendly? Don't worry, the ghost can't hear you. I don't think he can. Something I have to clarify. Should be coming right about now. And with the recent update as well, guys, when the ghost comes, you will see his glitter. Where are you? You're out there. What are you doing out there? Come in. Come in. It's just a little rune. Fuck. He was too scared to come in the house. It's Nick John Wick. I don't freaking blame him. So we're going to talk to him again.
Where are you?
You're not welcome. And
You
with
are
that
not
update,
welcome.
you can see his glitter around where he
Can
is,
you
so
open
that's
the door?
helpful.
Hello.
Attack me. Go to hell.
Go to hell.
As you can see, it was the right rune. Fuck you, door! Take a picture of that. It's more money, not the door. Sometimes you need to take a picture of the ground for the glitter. But as I was saying, it was the right ghost or entity because he was spinning around in his rune, and that says it's the right one. If the entity was just like stuck, it means you've got the wrong ghost or the wrong behaviour. I'll show you a clip of the difference. So we're looking at some past gameplay where you can see the right and the wrong rune type. As you can see here, he's spinning, and if it's the wrong rune type, he will be stationary. Shit! He came out of the rune. Sometimes he can do that. It's an ability. If you've got the wrong behaviour, it's probably between lost and residual. If it's vengeful, you will know about it, okay? Trust yourself in that. If the lost ghost hasn't given you that jump scare, if the residual ghost hasn't been the silvery dementor, the walking about, or the lights flickering, you're going to want to go for one or the other, right? So put your lost down or put your residual down. I would always go with residual first, because the residual ghost is the one that you can miss most often. So I would always go with that first if I was struggling between the two of them. If the ghost spins in the rune, absolutely brilliant. If it doesn't, pop out the lost, and vice versa. You can perish the ghost or move the ghost on without getting the correct rune. It is possible, I've done it a few times. You can also perish the entity by not even shooting it. So as you can see, certain entities do not like incense. If you trap them into that rune and you put down an incense, something's going to happen in it. So always be mindful of what you're going to use when you're having that fight with the ghost at the end. Make sure at the end that you put everything in, the name, when they died, etc, etc. We didn't reach 100% paranormal activity, so I knew we weren't going to do that because we put the incense down. But if you do have that quest, I would stay away from using incense, although you might have to. The reason why we put the incense down was to get that extra bit of evidence, which was the voices in this game. So it just depends, you have to prioritise what you want. We have 40 odd medals, so I shouldn't have heard that. I perished the ghost. Why am I hearing random shit? Anyway, if you're missing evidence like name or when they died, what I would suggest would be to go to the book. It could have written it in the book. Sometimes I've had the cause of death without even having the cubes. Sometimes it will write it there, so that's really helpful to know. I would really get into good practice of putting this book down. That being said, I pretty much think I've covered everything. When you're in, when you're in a contract, doesn't matter what one it is, you want to set up on I don't know, where we call it headquarters, okay? You want to set up headquarters where you're going to be about most of the time, but you're also going to set up in the entity's favourite room when you find it. So it's important that you find that favourite room. If you can't find it, once again, use the Ouija board. There's certain little things you can do to find out where it goes. You can put sensors on the doors and have a look and see what sensor is getting passed more. There's a couple of things that you can do to find the room, because you can miss that haze and you can miss those orbs. And remember guys, you can always pull your shield out. If you're stuck, really important, how to get out of a contract without perishing when the ghost is actively hunting you. You're going to use that incense. Always save one incense. Always, if you can. Some games you might not be able to, it's rare, but try and save an incense. If you need to get out of there, save your reputation and not perish yourself, pop the incense down. I would usually pop it about here, and then I would go straight up to the bike and get out of there. Reputation is the most important thing, and because you have to hold the right mouse key in order to leave for a couple of seconds, there's been a lot of times that I've tried to leave and the ghost has come and got me. So yeah, always put that incense down if you're wanting to evacuate and something bad's happening. Remember, you've got your shield, and I'm sure you got this. So we're going to play maybe another few games today. If anyone wants to play, let me know. Just send me a message, guys. I hope this helped. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like this content, if you like the game. And once again, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for the support. And I'll see you on the next one.